Welcome back. Now we talk about the real stuff. We talk about cars. So that's my favorite topic. So my first question to you is, how many of you love cars? Please raise your hand. And you are in Germany, don't forget it. How many? All right. Next question. How many of you use regularly, let's say once per week, digital services in a car, like a parking app? How many? All right. Third question. Would you in the future, let's say in the next 2 to 3 years, use a mobility service instead of buying a car? Please raise your hand. Wow. I thought it's the obvious. Woo. So, I'm very proud to present you now two very prominent German digital leaders in the automotive industry. They will talk about how digital services and mobility service will experience a completely different customer experience through AI. Our first speaker has 25 years of experience from the high-tech industry. He worked at Nokia and Infineon. He is an expert in cloud-based consumer services. He has a track record in scaling, transforming, and repositioning businesses. And he started 2014 at BMW as Senior Vice President, Digital Products and Services. I'm very happy that he made his time available to be with us today. And he will talk about how to develop digital business models based on big data and leveraging AI. Please welcome on stage Dieter May. Thank you.
Actually, hello everybody. Actually, when you just talked about this title, I just thought about exactly 4 years ago when I started off at BMW. Yesterday was basically my starting date 4 years ago. And just to give you a glimpse of an impression, I started off with a desk. That's how I started. So being implanted by two board members of the company, and I was named somehow like, this is Mr. Big Data, and he needs to sell apps. And I thought, what the heck? I mean, that is not going to transform the company, nor is it making a real business impact. So I think the important thing I want to talk about today is becoming a real customer-centric company and how to use digital transformation in order to do so. And I think the important thing for us is two aspects. The first one is we want to digitally transform our core product car, and this is going to happen more and more. Digital is becoming more and more purchase criteria when our customers are buying cars. And the second piece is how we interact with our customers going forward, the way we are doing business. And everything actually comes nicely together, and I hope I can show you that going forward. So for us, it means really that we want to drive for a seamless customer experience across multiple touch points, and the car is really one of our important ones because we control that touch point. We are going to provide contextual experiences, personalized experiences, and all that means that we need to make some use of the data we have on our customers and the data on the driving behavior, the driving patterns, etc. So let's talk first about how our consumers change in behavior. The first chart was the left part of that chart, basically. I showed to our board when I started off and had my first presentation there, and it said already, hey guys, you should invest in digital because digital is becoming more and more purchase criteria for our customers. And that is a study from one of the A.T. Kearney competitors. It was already pretty prominent that people really wanted to switch brands if the digital experience in a car is not on par with competitors. And we did basically year after year those same studies, and you see now how consumer behavior totally shifts. It's the first one is I want to have my digital life in my car in a seamless and integrated way. Second one is, I mean, intelligent personal assistants. Many of you are probably familiar with it. How does that impact the way we do business? How does that impact the consumer experience in the car? Also, they are high propensity to engage there. And then, I mean, take just Amazon. We talk about the Prime-enabled car. All your Prime services you have, would you like to have them in a car, including basically you get your parcels delivered to your car directly. Also, there are high propensity of people to engage on these type of experiences. So how are we driving value in that whole transformation? And I think the new thing for a car company is that suddenly you're looking at the customer. So our cars normally leave the factory. They are done. They don't start to live. They are done. They don't change for years normally. And then they go to the dealers. And we have no clue about the customer relationship. And I think driving value in this digital transformation is to engage with customers in a meaningful way, because we can engage with the customer in the car and beyond the car through digital capabilities we are building. The second thing is that obviously, I personally believe you will not sell a car anymore if you are not on par on digital. So it becomes a product differentiation game, and it will help you to drive also top-line growth. We also believe that it allows us to have business done in a totally different way, which means today you buy your car at the dealership and that's it, and you probably go back for after-sales services. But through the car, which lives over the life cycle, you have totally different means to engage and to do basically post-purchase sales to our customers. So life cycle business and the related capabilities in the commerce area are for us a really important thing. And then obviously you need to be able to address new ways of purchasing. We have already countries being live on online sales, car online sales. Many people thought that would never be possible. So you need to basically transform the company also in line with these new consumer demands and make sure the dealer is not the only way how to interact with you as a car company, as an OEM. The problem is, if it's only about building product, digital experiences and digital services, it would be probably easy because you would have your unit, you build it up, you build the software capabilities, etc., and you're done. The big challenge is you need to bring along a 100-year-old industry which has basically R&D processes which take 6 years, and you know exactly today when we are delivering the next 7 Series car to the market. And you also have planning systems which are for 6 years, but which are not really fitting to statements I would make. I know what my backlog is for the next quarter, but I can't really tell you what I will deliver in the next product we are going to have, because it's just too far away. So you need to bring these two worlds together, make changes, and make sure that you can do business in that environment and can really deliver in this environment. We have very early on in the process engaged with Microsoft at that time on building our experiences on the Azure cloud. We are an early technology partner on the machine learning capabilities, which we are using more and more. And we have basically made a bet on cloud first, using modern R&D capabilities and modern R&D setup. We have basically established 3 major hubs where we are developing basically our global software base from, with Shanghai having basically the local adaptation as well as a mandate. And we are operating basically like an internet company within the context of a car company. And this is a huge transformational piece to bring the organization along to operate. And the funny thing was, when we had our performance reviews in January, Peter Schwarzenbauer, who is my boss, he said, I think you really have arrived now in the company, in the center, in the heart of the company. And I thought, did I really want that? Because, I mean, we feel it makes us slower. We are suddenly on milestones for car programs, which is great because we are in the center of the new car programs for the X5, for the 8 Series and all of that. But, I mean, you need to live with that and make sure you continuously push the boundaries in order to get product out into the hands of our customers and get the right experiences done. So this transformational aspect is really important. For us, at the center of everything is the customer, and it's reflected by one thing. It's what we call our one ID. It's your consumer profile you take wherever you go with your BMW. If you switch cars, if you use Drive Now, you always have your personal profile, and you can basically live your life with BMW in that. We bring together your digital life, because we don't have the ambition to change that, what you're doing on your smartphones, etc., together with a car, which is for us the personal identification number and the vehicle identification number in technical terms for the car guys. We bring that together, we map that in order to extract most value for our customers going forward and to build basically intelligent experiences seamlessly played out on different digital touch points. And the important thing is, and their machine learning, artificial intelligence plays a really important role for us, it's continuously learning. So our consumer profile is continuously evolving. We are adding more and more knowledge in order to make your driving experience, your BMW experience, the best possible. That's the core, basically, what we call the Open Mobility Cloud. It helps us to anticipate consumer demand, to predict things, to personalize the car experience, and you will see that more and more when now remote software update capabilities become available in our cars. So this is an intelligent engine, basically based on your profile, machine learning capabilities, the integration capability for third parties, but also own experiences, and we can play them out basically on every touch point at the right point in time. So whether it's in the car, it's on a smartphone, it's on a smartwatch, it's with the intelligent personal assistant. It's a pretty scalable architecture we have there, which is globally scalable, which is also a problem in the car industry with a lot of fragmentation geographically and in head units. And basically, this is built on Microsoft's Azure technology. Here you see basically the touch points and the approach we have. Multi-touch point on the devices for the different brands. So when you're a Mini customer, you take your profile also to your BMW. And basically, we integrate internal partners like financial services partners, the after-sales partners, in order to give them access to our platform and our consumer base and to bring the right offer to our customer base. But it's not only about the digital touch points. The important thing is, because we have this huge dealer network, to include the dealerships into that whole game. So physical and digital channels need to be managed and orchestrated in a really nice way. And it goes basically from the showroom in the dealership to the website, how you order a car, and you need to make sure that this horizontal journey becomes really consistent and seamless. And there's a lot of work to do, I think, in order to get that to a level where it should be. But we are really scaling, and that's the important thing. Obviously, it's not about viral growth like the internet company, but we are scaling very well because basically 90% of our cars are fully connected. We are basically adding right now around 150,000 new users per month, just coming from the connected vehicles we are shipping. And if you see basically the growth we have over the past months, it's first, we scaled very well from a geographical point of view. We have basically a lot of consumer feedback. Just think about 1.2 million Net Promoter Score reviews from our customers, from 2.6 million customers. These are engaged customers. You can drive engagement and basically involve them in product creation and product improvements. And the good thing is that it seems that we are getting more and more sticky with what we built, because the interactions you see here, the 20 billion interactions we have on our cloud platform, basically are more than 5,000% growth compared to the 400% growth of the user base. So this is an important sign, because everything we are doing is, on one side, we have the financial metrics, because we are a business, but more important, we have consumer metrics. So I measured on customer active users, customer base, usage, Net Promoter Scores, all types of custom KPIs, because it's useless to build a digital channel if it's not going to be used by our consumers. So that's how we are basically tracking our performance and measuring ourselves. And the good thing is really, if you see customers are complaining about something, digitally you get that in through app or other channels. I mean, you turn that around through your software development unit in a very fast way, and you suddenly see it's no longer appearing. It's really cool, because you are close to what the customer feels and what he wants. The important thing for us is to get from a model where basically we don't know the customer, to a model where we drive continuous interaction and engagement with our customers. And the new thing for us, and where we see a lot of business potential, is basically to manage our customer base over life cycle. There's so many opportunities post-purchase. After the customer has been at the dealership, you can just change your configuration of the car till it's going to be delivered. Remote software update will allow us basically over time to book new features in the car, which are probably already included in the car configuration. You can free it up for 2 weeks or for a month. So there's a lot of opportunities to engage before the car handover process and then when the car is in use. And I will show you a few of those to give you a glimpse of how we try to increase the number of engagements and direct interactions with our customer base. The first one is when you are basically still a prospect, as we call it, you are looking around, you would like to basically immerse yourself into BMW experiences. You can go to our showrooms, you have virtual reality glasses there. You can basically immerse yourself in whatever BMW model you want and can experience how it looks from the outside and from the inside. This is the first touch point in a classic physical environment, but which is already digitally more enabled than it was in the past. The same thing is Configurator. This is one of the most important interaction points you have with potential customers. In the past, you had, in average, 5 dealer visits before a car was bought. This is down to 1. So there's a huge change in behavior, which means on the digital platform, configuration based on your personal profile, which you probably have already in your as a legacy, as a history, is very useful in order to configure the dream car for yourself. And it needs to be in a very playful and addictive way. And you need to immediately see basically how your car is going to look like. And I think this is some artwork you need to do there, because it's not too simple to really engage there and get along with all those special accessories you're selling and the different car configurations. So you need to make sure that you don't lose the customer throughout that journey. Another thing where we're trying to engage with our customers digitally already before he has gotten the car, his brand new car, is what we call My Car is Born. I mean, I have no history as a car guy, but I mean, real car guys, and there seem to be a lot of you here, I mean, they're really emotionally attached to that product, what they buy. And Römer is smiling because we had that discussion. I mean, they really wait for that car. They want to know where it is in the productions, what is the production status. I mean, when is it finished? When is it shipping to the dealerships? When can I get it? And that's a great way for us to have a first digital engagement with them. Download our apps, our experiences, in order to follow where your car is before you get it handed over. That is what we call My Car is Born, a touch point already after the purchase, but before you actually use the car. Then I think an important thing which is happening to the car as a product is obviously that it starts to live. And that is probably, what manufacturing guys fear the most. Because when a car leaves the factory, it needs to be done, finished, that's it. And now we are coming and saying, oh, by the way, 2 weeks before the car is launched, I would like to put new software on it. And by the way, when the car is shipped, it will also have new software all the time. But this is a huge opportunity to drive engagement. And it's not a technical action like it was in the past called when you got a software update. You can provide consumer benefits there to drive real value with the customers. And that is basically what we are now going to launch with the coming new cars in 2018. It allows you to keep your car always fresh and up to date as you're used to with your smartphone. Then we believe in one home where you find everything about BMW, your car, your history with BMW, the services you have booked, and that's what we call the personal portal. It can be consumed on whatever digital touch point. It's based on your one ID, and it's basically the home of your relationship with BMW, and will help you basically to manage your activities with BMW. And an interesting thing where we are trying now how that works to get also family and friends involved with BMW who probably are not owners of BMW is an experience we are going to go live with in July as well. It's the Smart Key, where you can basically share through our connected experiences keys with your friends, with business partners, etc., that they can use your car. And basically, you suddenly have different users accessing the same car, and you are expanding your potential user base and customer base. After sales is an important business for car companies. And this is basically, until now, the only touch point we have when a customer goes back to the dealership after he has bought the car. But you can do that in a totally different way going forward. And especially in China, where we have ramped up pretty fast our user base, we have very successfully implemented pickup and delivery services, which we think is a premium experience. You don't need to drive to the dealership anymore, to the repair station. Your car is picked up and brought back. There's other functionalities like make your dealer appointments immediately through online through your app, and even more important from a machine learning perspective, because that is one of the key themes here. I mean, it allows you also to give predictive alerts, basically, whether you should visit the dealership for oil change or whatever, and you get that basically through your digital channels that you should basically interact with BMW. So very important to keep in touch with consumers, with customers, and to engage. And then the big thing is now, how do you engage, how do you get your digital life also into the car environment? There's two options. The first one is basically you engage with a key player in the industry who wants to put his operating system into the car. But then everything I've told you before, how to digitally engage with customers, is basically done. Then you are a hardware manufacturer and you're done, basically. We have right now used the momentum which has come up now with all the personal assistants to really work with the two partners we have with Amazon and Microsoft to get the most out of it and to get the best experience into the car without sacrificing our consumer interface. Even better, what we do with the Alexa integration, we even will learn from the consumer context and what you do with Alexa for BMW, which could be interesting. Also for basically better targeting you, better working with you, giving you better offers. And Alexa will be integrated in June with a deep integration, visual and audio feedback, like you probably know from the Echo Show device. So it's really cool experience in the BMW fleet, and it will be rolled out broadly immediately. So, summing that up, how we are trying to become much more customer-centric, there's a few elements I've basically talked about. The first one is you need to look at the whole life cycle. The business is not done when the car is sold. Then it really starts. Second one is we believe you need to be very flexible in the adaptation of new digital touchpoints. And you need to be able to play all experiences in the best possible way horizontally. Third one is you have the core, the intelligent core, which is what we call the Open Mobility Cloud, which is based on one ID, the one consumer profile, which allows you to develop customer understanding to make the best use out of the product, because that's what we are up for. We are not up for selling data or things like that. It is basically gaining understanding of our consumers in order to make the best product available, and then basically have all the experiences which nicely fit together and which are going to play it out through that core on the different touch points. And that hopefully will allow us basically to now leapfrog in terms of changing our business model, getting to know what our customers really want, and driving totally new engagement levels with our core product, the car. And I would like to finish with a video, which is not about Microsoft experience, but it's we were on stage with the Amazon Echo announcement, Alexa announcement in Seattle in November, and it was a pretty short-term thing. But I think there's a pretty cool video. At least since there are so many car guys, the car guys will like it. So please play the video.
Alexa, set timer for 30 seconds.
30 seconds starting now.
Alexa, play my favorite playlist.
Okay.
Alexa, how's the weather?
The weather is 90 degrees with clear skies.
Alexa, order a salami pizza.
Okay, it will be ready for pickup in 15 minutes.
Alexa, open garage door.
Okay.
Alexa, how did you like our first ride?
This one I would like to close, and I'm open for questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dieter. Prior to the event, we had a discussion about AI and BMW, and you said there's an interesting initiative happening within the firm. Could you share a bit the way BMW is organizing around AI?
Yeah, AI needs to be seen in a bigger context. So in my unit, but also in the autonomous driving unit, where these capabilities are mostly used, autonomous driving obviously much more than in my unit as well. First thing is we believe that you need to have fully owned value creation. That is why we have this, we call it the Agile software factory, which we have in Shanghai and Chicago. And we basically control the experience and control the software and have the capabilities there where the AI experts are working basically with these Scrum teams there who are building the product. So it's really an integrated setup. Apart from that, overall in the company, because in manufacturing also AI pops up now in different places, we have basically formed in a first step now a community network to make sure that the tooling is the same, methodologies are the same, and knowledge sharing is done. Which is in pretty siloed big companies, I mean, probably not the obvious, especially if you have not a long history in software and reuse of APIs and components. So that's how we are right now acting there. So there's a dedicated central team. Otherwise, it's in the units, and we call it a hub and spoke model. It's pretty simple. And we need to see how that goes.
Cool. Thank you, Dieter. We have time for 2 more questions. Who likes to ask a question to Dieter? Oh, there are the hands over there.
Thank you very much for this very insightful presentation. One question about the wanting to preserve the customer interface. I can understand that you would like to preserve it, but then I have the question, why then do you work with Alexa?
Yeah, but probably this was not clear from the video. Alexa is not going to control our car. So it's just to access what you're used to from your Echo devices at home, access basically third-party content, and that's it. So none of those will have basically full control over the car. And that's why we still preserve our customer interface, because everything will be dispatched through our customer interface, through our speech engine, to whether it's Alexa, whether it's Google or whomever, and then there's a portion basically which you will hear more about in the coming month. But we are not giving that up. It's not like if you take Android into the car that you're basically taking over. It's totally isolated and it's working, believe me.
There's a question over there.
Hi, thank you. Also for that straightforward approach. It was very nice to see how clear that story can be told. One question came to my mind.
It seems straightforward, but I can tell you the last 4 years were not really straightforward.
What came to my mind is, how are you handling the multi-brand situation in your company? So how unique is the experience, and how singular is the One ID?
So the One ID is basically, it's the One ID. Basically, you can attach whatever brand to it then. The problem we are facing, and I alluded to that a bit, is that, I mean, digital is all about scale, but car companies, I mean, it's not really a scalable thing, because you have all these models, you have all the head units in there, there's no common software platform in the cars yet, etc. So we have a problem, and then you have the brand. So, and we have 4 special brands. Let's say Motorrad, they are just at the beginning of digitalization, so the bike stuff. Rolls-Royce, and I see my colleague here, I mean, it's very, very special, because for me it is for, let's say, a few thousand cars, you know. Would I do that, basically from my business point of view? But obviously also those customers there, most important customers who buy a Rolls-Royce, they want to have digital experiences. And then Mini is different than BMW from a target customer base point of view. And I think we have now solved the Mini and BMW thing. So we are basically with the new Mini generation now basically on par with the BMW experience, except if there's cameras missing in the car, in the Mini compared to a BMW or so, or some sensors. But we basically try now to go into a development model where we at the same time push out Android and iOS, plus Mini and BMW as much on par as possible from a functionality point of view. And then adding for Mini, because that is more the fancy, cool stuff, adding for Mini basically special features as well as special look and feel and design. That's the differentiation strategy right now. And we need to see basically how basically user traction compares to BMW. We can easily adjust then over time. Yep.
One more question. Where?
All fantastic. Who owns the data?
The customer.
And that's very clear.
Yes.
So when I transfer the ownership of the car, I can keep the data myself.
You have full control over your data. When you, for example, you don't want to share location data with us. Obviously, I mean, it's for us harder for us to predict your daily routine, traffic routines, etc. But that is your decision, you know. So you are in full control. We are not making any money out of that data. It just helps to make the customer experience better, and we are very clear on this one.
Cool statement. Very good. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
This was great.